Hey, today let's make Baby Jetragon of Palworld. Alright, before we begin, please check out the book that's coming out soon called The Bane of Bad Things, a lovely grounded fairies adventure. I was the illustrator. I did the artwork in that book, so check it out for me. Check out my artwork there, and let's make the Baby Jetragon out of polymer clay. Shaping it up here, the light blue color. Now, he's relatively small, not necessarily needing a armature. So I'm just using a dowel rod to hold his neck up. Now I'm putting his head on. That dowel rod should be a good support for his neck and his head. Use my handy dandy pocket knife to make his head one with the body again. Using the base or the handle of the sculpting tool, smooth it out. Now I'm cutting off his hip here to make room for the knees or the wheels. Jetragon's challenging looking knees. Now this dark blue color is going to be the accent for the wheels that are his knees. Using the middle sides tool to make the indentation for his knees, Baby Jetragon's knees. Putting the purple in there, just enough to squeeze it in there and fill it in. Again, I'm using the medium-sized tool. I'll switch over to the big tool in a moment. Okay, I'm using my handy-dandy knife to make the accents inside the knee. This gives it that jet engine look. A little ASMR there, throwing my knife down. Alright, using a little dab of reddish orange for the accent in the middle there. This is the dark blue accent that goes on the wheel, or his knee, whatever the case may be. Right, got a couple there. Looking cool. Alright, he's got a white belly. Let's make room for that. And while the belly's not on there, well, I got room for his mouth. Let's make the dark of the mouth. A little dark clay to do that. Put that dark clay in there. Okay, here's the white belly and the white lower jaw. Little ASMR there with the wrapper for the beak, which will be the tongue. Baby Jetragon's tongue. Now I'm putting a little crease in the middle of his tongue. Maybe that's a little, I don't know if all critters have that or not, but maybe I'm just being anthropomorphizing Baby Jetragon. However you say that word. Anthropomorphize. Alright, let's make his purple cap. Let's make room for that. Let's mold it into shape. Put it into place. Mirroring it to the rest of the body and using the medium-sized tool to put the eye impressions in. And some white clay to make the eyes, and I'm flattening them out. Because I'm planning to put some UV resin in there, so I don't want it to be bulging out. I want the eyes to be flat in there. His irises. There's his eyelid. Or the puff of flesh underneath his eye. I think in Korea or South Korea they call it egyo-sao, which means, well, basically means cute puff under the eyes that children may have. Alright, I think this is kind of a neat way to do this. A neat technique. Just put a little indentation and then put the color in and roll them together into one form. One shape. This is for the antennas or wings or whatever they are on top of his head. And this is the tail. Using the same technique. Just making a trench. Putting the white color in that trench. Making room for the tail. Turn it at an angle there. Pop that up. There we go. I gotta break off a piece of his tail because the tip of his tail is not light blue. There's a little bit of white in there. And then dark blue on the tip of his tail. Put those fins on. Jetragon fins. Alright, I'm putting some shoulders on and putting indentations for the arms to go in those shoulders. Looking down at the screen. Let's look up at the screen. There we go. Alright, putting his arms on. Using the same technique of putting the colors on the orange on the dark blue forearms. Putting some folds just before putting the knees on. Give him some baby folds. Baby folds in his flesh there. Then we put the knees on. The wheel knees. The knees shaped like wheels. Put the claws on his feet. Alright, let's make the accent or decoration that is on his back. That purple thingamadodger. Alright, now I think this is a pretty neat way to do it. I had a little trouble finding how to make these pyramids, these diamond shapes. So this is what I did. I used the biggest, it's supposed to be flat surfaces, but I'm making the surfaces with the largest sculpting tool. And but watch what I do with a knife after this. Making the facets, 4 of the facets, basically form it into a pyramid shape. And then with a handy dandy pocket knife, I just trim it into a square shape. The base of the pyramid into a square shape. Now there are 4 of these on Baby Jet Dragon. These hold the, I guess you call them crystals, diamond shapes, the pink diamond shapes that goes on his wings, thingamadodger, wherever that is on his back. Okay, I cut this plastic is actually the container that the Polymer clay, Sculpey 3 clay came out of. I merely cut it into the shape I needed, those diamond shapes, and colored it with a marker. Ink. I'm just letting it dry here, just stick it into a bowl of clay just to let it dry. You might notice I got paper under there now, not just my desk. Polymer clay tends not to stick much to paper. I didn't get a good shot here, but you can see that I'm using the light to cure the UV resin. I didn't get a good shot of me putting the UV resin in the eye. This gives him a realistic looking eye. And the UV flashlight cures it, make it nice and solid. And there you have it. Baby Jet Dragon. I just glued the parts on that were not already stuck on when I cooked him. Baked him in the oven. Polymer clay. And then I glued the other parts on. Thanks for watching! Baby Jet Dragon Sculpt.